Get ready to go on. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Portsmouth Coffee Talk in the evening. And for those who were used to getting up early in the morning to listen to Portsmouth Coffee Talk, we are now in the evening, and we hope that you're more relaxed now and not sleepy and falling asleep doing our podcast. But we are here, and we are glad you are here with us at this time. So tonight we have a very, I think, intriguing show. The title of it is Different Views of the War, the Economy, and Fair Elections. And we're going to have a conversation about that. And we have a few guests on here that you be familiar with. And we have a new guest on here. His name is Madison Downs. And I'm going to let him first kind of introduce himself and tell a little bit about himself. And then we can get started into the conversation. I think I heard somebody trying to come on. But Madison, go ahead and give us a little caption of who you are and where you've been and, just a little bit so we can get started here.
Well, thanks, Lem. Again, my name is Madison Downs. Many of you may know me from running for Congress back in 2020 down in the 3rd District. I'm a Hampton Roads native. I went to Hampton High, but I also spent a lot of time across the bridge, across the water, where I went to Kellam, I went to Salem, places like that. I grew up there playing ball. Joined the Marine Corps right there out of Newmarket, down to Newport News, and went down to Parris Island, did a little time in the military as an enlisted Marine. Got recruited to college, played a little college ball, played a little pro ball with the Chiefs. When I was done with that, I went back into the Army as a chaplain, and so now I'm retired, and I still give back. I still teach. I teach up in the inner city in DC, and just try to do what I can to make a difference.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot, and I appreciate you coming on. We've been talking about this for a long time, and in the future, we look to having you back more in the future. Sometimes I've been looking for people that might have opposing views, but I always feel like we need to have conversations just to understand, how you feel about a different issue. And we still might disagree or we might agree, but you might find some things you do agree on. So, and plus these are topics that need to be discussed. And right now I'd like to welcome Catherine, who is a Army vet. Am I right, Catherine?
That's correct.
Okay, and she is actually Lewis's sister, the oldest sister. And Catherine, I don't know if you saw it, but I had the Brenda Andrews on one of our shows from the Journaling Guide, and I told her about the 3 girls in your family. The first time I saw Paper Girls when I was growing up, and y'all passed that legacy down from one girl to another, delivering the Journaling Guide, and she really appreciated that. So just wanted to tell you that.
Okay.
I put you on blast, a good blast with
Okay,
the
thank
Journaling
you.
Guide, and they're still in operations where a lot of other Black publications are folding, because of the way the world is.
Okay.
Anyway, and we also have Louis Bracey here, and you're familiar with him. He's really a guest host with us, so he's on here quite a bit, quite vocal and strong in his opinions. And so we love to have him here and to give his ideas on how he feels about certain issues that we like to talk about here on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. So we're going to get started. First, I want to start off by, some of the issues that we want to talk about, and we might go away from them a little bit. Depends on how the conversation goes, and that's all right. That's all right here on Portsmouth Coffee Talk, because it's all going to be related to what's happening today. And, we're going to get some really good views from, it might be different, it might be similar, but from our guest tonight. And we look forward to having some other guests pop up hopefully tonight, that from Maryland. Lewis always brings people from Maryland with him. He doesn't need any help, but he always brings them in to add a little bit of more to our conversation. But anyway, as we talk about the war, we into like the 20th day of the war. I just want to ask each one of you all your opinion. Do you think the war was necessary? And who do you really think it serves? And you can answer that question. And then if you want to add a little bit more about how you feel about it, fine. But start there with that question. And let me start with our new guest, Madison, if you will. I'll start with you, and then we'll go to Catherine, and then you, Lewis.
Do I think the war was necessary? No. I think it was not a wise decision to make to go into this particular war, although I do think that it was inevitable. I think that in time it was going to happen. It just seemed like this time they kind of got the right one who happens to be occupying the Oval Office. I think on the onset they were saying that it was only going to last a week or two or something like that, maybe a month. I think anybody with some common sense knew that that was incorrect. I think that we're going to be in this for the long haul. I also think that we need to be careful and keep your head on a swivel, knowing the tentacles that Iran has. We've already had at least 3 terror attacks, one in Michigan with the synagogue, one in ODU. There was another one in Texas, and I think there was another one, I can't remember exactly where, but they're just getting started. And so do I think that Iran needed to be dealt with? Yes, I do. Do I think the sanctions would have worked? Quite possibly. But who knows? I think that, that whole area with North Africa, and then when you're dealing with Persia, you're dealing with old entities. And I'm speaking specific when I say entities, because although we refer to Iran as Iran, we know it to be Persia in reality. When we talked about Iraq, we know that was Babylon. When you talk about North Africa, which is the misnomer of the Middle East, that was Canaan. So we're dealing with old entities, dealing with old ancient spirits, and now we're in there.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where if you go to a bar and you're with your friends and you don't want to fight, but now you're in the fight, he gets into a fight you didn't really want to, we got to walk out alive. So the point now is that we're in it. And how do we get out of this bar alive, as unscathed as possible? And, just right now, just considering everything and not to monopolize the question, because I know other people want to talk. Don't really have many answers on that, but obviously we can pontificate on what's next steps.
Yeah. And Carlin, not Carlin, but Catherine, before you speak, I want to make this a point, and it's no secret that this particular broadcast either leans to the left or independent. And Madison, you are a registered Republican, am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And I wanted to bring that point up because just to make sure people know, when you think that one particular party always marches lockstep with one on all issues, that's not always the case. And it's probably some issues that they do. But just want to let people know that for the sake of the audience watching. And, whatever party you're affiliated with, you're proud to be that. So there's no shame in mentioning that's where we are, because people know that we lean to the left here on this show. But we are always open for conversation, constructive conversation with whoever. We disagree with each other. So, right. I just wanted to make that point. Captain went away, so Lewis, go ahead and give us your take on that question.
Problems. Well, look, James. First thing, I wanted my sister on because I really should have had her on last week when we had the women's day on, but I didn't think she was going to be available. But I wanted her on because she was military too. A lot of times people keep forgetting that my sister retired from the military.
Yeah,
23 years, and she had a lot to do with logistics in a wartime situation. So that's why I thought it'd be good to have her on, because she has a perspective on munitions and things of that nature that needs to go into war. That's why I wanted her on. Like I said, should have had her on last week, and I hope she comes back on. But
yeah, I mean, because we're celebrating the women all month, so and well, really all year we should be, but hopefully she'll come back. Okay.
Well, look here. I kind of wish this was our debate night, because I can see now, Madison, you won't last a second with me. For one thing, let me make something very clear. At one point in my life, I had no problems with anybody being in the Republican Party. Some of my relatives were Republicans. We never had knockdown, drag out fights. But now I can't see how any rational African American can be a part of this party right now, especially when you have an imbecile in chief who does nothing but insult our people. And as a veteran, you should have the least amount of respect for the party and the idiot in chief, because he shows no respect to the military. He shows no respect. He only used the military for a backdrop. So I can't see in my own good conscience as why any African American, I don't care about white people, I don't see how any African American this day and time, I ain't talking about the past, I'm talking about right now, to be a part of the Republican Party with this idiot that's in the White House today. And then I want to get into some of the comments that she was making.
Yeah, well, first, can you address that question? And in true fairness, I want to give
first thing I would say
is chance to answer that.
Yeah, this is in high school, Lewis. So you can have your thoughts, and I maintain my own. Number one. Number two, would you rather have somebody named Kamala who told you that she's not going to do anything for your black ass?
She never said that.
She did say that right out of her mouth. She never said that. He did say that. And see, that's a part of the cognitive dissonance that you guys have, that you don't want to look at the facts. Number three, would you rather have Biden, who didn't know where he was, what he was doing 99% of the time? So let me ask you this question. Who is better at this point in time that you would elect to be there?
You finish?
That's the question.
You finish? First thing, you want to talk about somebody who don't know where they are. Just yesterday alone, your idiot president spoke in the very same press conference, and he contradicted himself 4 times. In the same press conference, he contradicted himself 4 times. All right.
Okay.
And your idiot president, and when we were doing all this stuff about Biden, and you people was making all these comments to him about sleeping and stuff, how many times have we seen the pedophile in chief sleeping in press conferences?
Yeah, nothing but accusations, man. See, now if we're gonna have a discussion, you got to give me some facts. I don't want to hear a bunch of accusations. Talk to me about some facts, so we can't have a debate on it. When you talk about pedophile and all this other stuff, where are the facts?
That is
I don't
a
want
fact.
to hear innuendos. I don't want to hear.
Did you watch any press conference at all this week?
And what you accuse him of doing? All they're doing is they're treating him just like any other black man. All these accusations, you want to sling a bunch of mud up against the wall and see what sticks, but you can't prove a darn thing.
You didn't drink the Kool-Aid. You didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
Ain't no Kool-Aid being drunk, man. I'm asking you to provide me with some facts, but you can't do it.
You know what? One of my first.
Provide me with some facts, sir.
James knows facts are facts. Okay,
I'm gonna hit you with one of your own.
I have
Al
nothing but
Sharpton says.
facts.
Al
You
Sharpton
want,
says
you
you're
want
entitled
facts?
to your own
Let me
opinions,
give
but
you
you're
the
not
facts.
entitled to your own
Let me
facts.
give you the facts. Let me give you the facts. Okay.
Right.
Let me give you the fact. You brought up Kamala Harris. First thing, she did not say anything close to what you
say
said,
it, man.
And,
That's a fact.
and she provided everything that you people, you Republican people, asked her to do. She gave a whole worksheet as to what she had plans to do and was going to do in her current administration, and has she been elected. The food that y'all voted for still have not provided. And you tell me, where is his health care plan?
That's a fact.
Where is his health care plan?
Told at a zero.
That's a
she
fact.
Was not even elected.
Where's his health care plan?
Position. She lost
Where is his health care plan?
doggone presidential election that she ran for. Those are facts. She had no plan. At least the guy that you're talking about had something, had plans written out.
She did have a plan. She provided her plan in front of multiple situations, multiple. She laid everything out, but you don't answer the question. You are like the people.
You didn't ask the question.
I answer the question. Where is Donald Trump's health plan? Where is Donald Trump's health plan? Answer the question. Where's it at?
I don't know.
Because he don't have one. He don't have one. He do not have one. And he never had
Kamala's? Where's Kamala's? I tell you, she don't have one because she's not there.
She already had a health plan.
So now, do you want to talk about current events, or you want to stay stuck on losers?
Do you currently have a health plan?
I do.
All right. Now, I don't know if your parents are living, but if they are, I'm sure they'll be on Medicaid or Medicare. All right. Those prices have went up. All right. So and why did they go up? They went up because your idiot decided he wanted to put money in the pockets. And this is an economic measurable fact that when this fool got back in office, he only gave no percent of benefit to the middle class and poor people. All right. He gave all the benefits to people who didn't even need it. He gave it to the 2% wealthy, and they bragged on it. That is a fact. That's a mathematical fact that you can find. And you claim you went to college. I don't know if you went to Hampton University or not. But if you went to college, you could add and subtract. Now, anybody can go on the phone right now, and they can find what was the percentage of the tax break that.
Okay, I've just muted both of you, and the reason I did, I kind of knew that probably, and Bracy is still talking, but I muted both of you because I kind of knew it was going to go this way. We're going to get into the debate. It's kind of hard to have two strong-willed people discussing something without this going on, and I'm willing to let it go, continue to go. Bracy, we can't hear you right now. We can't hear you. I'm willing to let it go like that, but to go away from my question and to start into what you're going now is not the purpose of this show. Now I can throw all the questions out and y'all can continue, but this is not the purpose of this discussion. And some of the discussion is going back into time, and we're trying to talk about something that's going on now. Now we can have the official debate where facts have to be proven by, you have to bring facts to the table when you have an official debate. And that's what happens. And, so, we can continue like this if you want, but, it's not the original intention of the program. That's why I had the question, so you could express your views on a certain issue and then maybe have a discussion about that. But to go in another whole direction, it wasn't the intent of the show. So I'm going to bring y'all back up. And if you want to continue that way, you can. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know how far we'll get with the intent, if we keep going that way.
We'll roll with you. I will roll with you. ask the questions,
I will say
and
this,
I'll roll with you.
let me just say this one thing, and I don't want to go backwards either, but to all these people, like I see your comment talking about Black people support. I went to one of those white colleges called Howard. So, insofar as the military is concerned, I'm the first Hebrew chaplain in the history of this country. And the things that I went through were amount to being called in the storage rooms, being told to stand at the position of attention while people walked around me because they'd never seen Black Jews before, or walking across the street while white people shouted at me at the top of their lungs. So when you start talking about this Uncle Tom and racist stuff, trust me, I've been through more than probably you have. So don't go there with me on that. So if you want to stick to the issues, we can do that. But when we start talking about resume and stuff like that, I promise you probably can't touch me.
Yeah, and like I said, we have time to do that, and I think that will be a very, very good and well received debate because But I want to have time to put that together so it can be done properly with timing and debate moderator, and so you can present the facts. You know, it won't have to be say, "Where are your facts?" Well, here it is. You know, you can quote sources and things like that. That's what a real debate is all about. So, and I know you're going to have some agreements on some of the things you talk about now, and that's fine. But to have it get out of control like that and have to go back into other things, that can be debated as well. What happened with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden back then, but you know, we are dealing with a war or conflict, whatever you want to call it now, and that's why I wanted y'all opinions on that, and you can disagree on that. So I see Catherine is back. So Catherine, I don't know if you heard the question. The question was the bombing? You feel like the bombing was necessary of Iran, and who do you think it really serves?
At this time, none of that was necessary. I can understand if they attacked us, but they had not attacked us at all. They haven't. Now that we attack them, which is not us, it's the person that's in the White House right now. Started this whole war. Now he wants the allies to back him up. But that's not going to happen because they didn't want this war. They saying now that this is not their war. It's not our war either. He's doing that. All of this is for greed. It's for greed. It's for him and his family and all the other people that's behind him.
And Catherine, you weren't here last week, or although you were watching, and I want to pose this to you because the question came up about women in combat, and I'm sure you have an idea about that because of where you served when you were in the Army. How do you feel about that? Because some people say women shouldn't go, and I think they were all out there in the Iraq War, and but how do you feel about that?
Women has always been in the war. People just doesn't mention it. They don't talk about it. If you look at it now, women have been on the backbone of everything. Even in the Bible days, we've always fought because if the man is out of the house, who's going to protect the house? Nobody but the woman. People won't agree with that, but women has always been fighting. Always. If she's a sole breadwinner, husband died, who's got to take care of her? She's gonna have to take care of herself and her family. So women has always fought. Always.
Catherine, I
Yes,
was
sir.
telling James earlier that I kind of wish I had you on last week, but I want to. Will you also tell the audience about your background in the military and what did you do when you served?
When I came in Army, I was started off as a 71 Lima. And that's a postal worker. Postal workers, you're gonna have to be out there no matter what. I went to Korea first. Then they I had to go to be and when they took out all the 71 Limbers, and I was a 31 Charlie. Ended up being 31 Yankee. I had my own male squad. Only, and everywhere that I went, I have been the only female there. I had to fight. I earned my respect. I earned it. I walked tall, strong. I was a fighter, I always had to fight. So it's just in me. Other women don't like to do things like that, but I'm not submissive. I'm not the submissive type. My father didn't teach us to be submissive to anybody.
But
So
tell the audience where you served at and like the jobs that you did, some of the functions you did at the different bases.
okay, when I first went in, I was believe it or not, I went as a private, but I ended up when I first started as a PFC. I came through the ranks quickly. I was in Korea. I was 30 minutes from the DMZ, and y'all know how that was back in the day, back in the 60s and the 70s. I've also was in. Well, I put it this way: my last duty assignment was at the Pentagon, and I was working in. I still can't talk about it because that where I worked at. So I just been a world a versatile person, but but I don't like to brag about what I did because I did that out of respect for the Army. I was a career soldier.
You left out Germany. Tell them about Germany.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I forgot. I've been to Germany twice, and in Germany I was in Munich and Bad Kreuznach, and there I served top secret jobs. That's that I can't really talk about, but I can tell you this: I had to learn German had not had but the classes that gave it, but the people that I worked under taught me how to read German language because of the mission that I was at. I was MI. I was military intelligence. That's about all I can go with that. I was military
Okay.
intelligence.
Okay. You can tell
Still-
everybody. You've been out a long time. Anybody come get you. Anybody tell everything.
Evidently, she still feels that obligation
ain't nobody gonna come
to
get
hold
you.
it close to her chest.
I worked at NSA and I was at MA, and I tell
Bluetooth
everything. Ain't
connected.
nobody gonna come knock on my door. You,
Okay.
you didn't deal with that much real intelligence like I did. You can tell everything. Well, look, let me answer your question, James. The question you had was about the war. And let me say this about, because this is again to come back to Mr. Downs to show you just who done drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
First thing, the war was totally 100% unnecessary. We are in this war because the pedophile in chief was roped into it by Netanyahu, who tried to get him to do the war when he was in the first time. All you got to do is check the facts on that. You remember who Trump killed just before he was supposed to leave office because he was trying to get Iran into the war then. All right. Yeah, it was planned. And even General Miller said that this guy was trying to get a war and start a war, but the intelligent leaders at that time told Trump they was not going to go along with it. They said, you can start a war if you want to, but we're not going to go along with it. And it's ill-advised. That's why we never got in the war the first time. If anybody had paid attention to the off season, when he was out for those 4 years, they made it crystal clear that when they got back in office, they could do everything they want to do and when they want to do it. And they have done that. So since he didn't have idiots like Hedgehog now and fools like Chaffee Gathers who don't know a damn thing about intelligence, he has the idiots to go along with the program now. And they said that. It won't like they didn't hint. They said it in their own writing, exactly what they were going to do. And that's exactly why we're in this situation now, because the rapist in chief decided that he wants to be big and bad. He wants to be this dictator. and he decides that he's going to go out here and risk our soldiers' lives for his own ego. The 5-time draft dodging orange turd. And now, if you want to ask facts, are you going to say he did not have 5 deferments, Mr. Downs? 5 deferments? Are you going to say that he didn't go to France and he wouldn't go and honor our troops because he didn't want his hair to blow? Are you going to say that when it's in his own words? Are you going to defend the fact that 2 generals who have lost 2 of their sons, and the orange turd said, what was it in there for them? 2 generals have written this in their own books, coming out his mouth. So this war was unnecessary. It was uncalled for. I do not go along. The only thing we agree to go along with is Iran is a rogue country.
But it's still out of greed.
But it's for their people to take them down. It's not for us to take them down. Every time we have tried to go and try to be the police on somebody else's ground, we have always lost. You can't name one time we have won. We haven't won anything. We didn't win in Vietnam, and you want to be honest, we didn't really win in Korea. That was a standoff. Anytime we go and try to marshal somebody else's problems, we always lose. Now, your boy's so big and bad. You let him send our troops on the ground. They're waiting for them to come on the ground. They're waiting for them. We will never win a door-to-door land war against anybody. They know that better than you, just like you have your house. You know your house better than anybody else. They know it better than anybody else. Why we didn't win Vietnam? We did not win Vietnam. They knew their land better than everybody else. Now, you think he's going to go into a country that has been fighting for over 3,000 years? They know how to hide everything. That fool that you support dropped bombs. And what did he do? You're going to tell me he didn't say he got rid of everything? He obliterated. You know what that word means? Obliterate. I mean, he got rid of everything. So if you got rid of everything, how come they're still fighting now? Come on, man. Look, I'm sorry you drank the Kool-Aid. I'm sorry you drank the Kool-Aid. But the war, unnecessary. We didn't have to be there. We're not going to win. Go ahead, James.
Okay, we probably, Madison, we're going to go to the next question about the economy. But before we do, if you wanted to respond.
Yeah, I think that they just echoed what I said at the beginning. I just think that James has a problem with listening. And as far as Trump and all the other stuff, I get it. You don't like Trump. But the American people spoke, and he's the president. So either get with the team or shut up.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Kath.
The president's he's not mine. He's just somebody that sits in that office right now. But if you look at it, sir, the people that it wasn't everybody that spoke. It was the people that thought he was going to help them, but he hasn't helped anybody but himself and the people that's under his regime. They're the one who's getting all the money. Have you gotten a dime from him? Have you gotten anything from him or his people? Look at if you have medication. Look at your medication. What has happened to that? I know mine went up completely. I'm talking to my senior citizens at my center. Some of them had to opt out of medication because they can't afford the $800 and $900 that they're charging now. They can't even go to their clinics right now because of how much money they have to pay out, and they still on Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. It's taking all of their money. I know a lady right this moment. She has kids that can take care of her, but she had to move into a 1-bedroom place that the government has because it's funded by the government. 1 bedroom, a bathroom inside the bedroom.
A lot of that.
The stove is so small that she can't even cook. She can't even put a refrigerator in there, nor a dining room table. She has to eat on a little small coffee table just to eat. Now, come on. Well, he has not done anything for the citizens.
Yeah. A lot of those issues have to do with a lot of our funding going to illegal aliens. So obviously, if we keep giving our money away, then inflation's going to occur. Now, I will say this: you guys keep bringing up medication and Medicare. Let's just take insulin, for example. Trump brought it back down to $35.
That's a
Whatever.
lie.
No, it's
That's
not a lie.
That's
Look,
a lie.
I didn't interrupt
I'm
you.
telling you now.
I didn't
I
interrupt
picked
you.
up
I
y'all,
listened
but
to you.
he did not bring it down to 35.
He brought it down to 35 the first
I'm
time.
gonna tell you
Now
what
you gonna let
happened.
me
brought it
talk,
down
or
to
you gonna talk
35,
over
man.
me?
Let me tell you
We
what
can't do
happened.
this.
The first of January.
We can't do this.
Documented fact.
Yeah,
Now let me talk.
Catherine and Lewis, let him talk. He
Okay,
listened
go
to you
ahead.
all, and you have time to
Okay.
to
To
respond
rebut. Okay.
after. Okay.
Yeah, so the first time he was in office, he brought the insulin down to $35. Then when Biden came in, he immediately revoked the bill that Trump had instituted,
Man, that's
which
bullshit.
raised it, and then later
I'm sorry,
on,
James. He's talking bullshit. And he
then
ain't
later
talking no goddamn
then
fact.
later on, would you shut your goddamn mouth while I'm talking?
You lying. You just lying, man.
Later on, while he was in office, he dropped it down to 35 and said he did it. Then it went back up, and then Trump brought it back down.
That's
again.
a damn lie.
That's not a lie.
It is a damn lie.
Yeah, that's your problem right there.
Anybody can look up and Google.
We can't hear you if everybody's talking at the same time.
Everything that you say can be
talk too much, and that's why you don't learn nothing.
You just drank the Kool-Aid and you don't want to see
Don't have
nothing
nothing to
else.
do with Kool-Aid. It's about facts, man.
No, sir.
I know facts. You have represented the facts. You have done nothing but lie.
I don't know whether you have you talked to anybody or have you read that? Because I'm going to tell you what happened the 1st of January, and I checked it out myself because I had to call the people to find out why my medication went up so high. They said the 1st of January of this year.
That's right.
Everything has gone up.
That's
Why?
right.
Because of what they did at the end of the year, where they said Trump said we're gonna have. He didn't have a plan, and they told you they never had a plan. I talked to my medication folks, Express Script. If you say you was in the military, call them yourself. Everything went up tremendously. The insurance have gone up tremendously. If you don't know that, if you are on Medicaid or Medicare, check it out for yourself. I called them and I talked to the folks.
They don't want to know the truth. They don't want to know the truth. That's the thing about those people. They never want to admit the truth. Now I'm gonna tell you, James will tell you this. I have been in front of the White House on personal protests over 100 times. I have ran into your type many, many times. And the one thing that always come down to it, they never, ever want to deal with facts. I asked you the question earlier on, where is the pedophile's health plan? You have no answer for it. Then this lady, somebody named Bess came on, whoever Bess is, she gonna come on and try to follow your BS line and stuff. Yeah, so that's her name, Bess Byron Williams. And all she did was put in a bunch of lies herself. And that's the bad thing. It's sick that you people don't want to look at the fact. She brought up the fact about that Obama and Biden gave money. All right. You look it up yourself now, and you ask the question, who did Netanyahu was paying Hezbollah and the same people that Bess Byron Williams is talking about under the table? This was Bibi Netanyahu, and when he leaves office, he's going to be under investigation because he was privately funding those same through group that Bess Byron Williams had brought up. That is a documented, proven fact.
She said it earlier.
And anybody can find it. Now, he was funding these same people. All right.
Let's get into that.
The second thing he could be charged with is that when those people came in, the terrorist attack, they did the terrorist attack. He knew it was coming. Israel, and everybody would tell you, Israel have the best intel on the planet. Their intelligence is better than ours. And they didn't know. Then they went 12 hours and didn't do anything. Those are facts. Those are facts. And when he get out of office, if he get out of office, he's going to be brought up on charges because for one thing, he put his own people in danger because he knew, and they proved it, that they knew there was about to be an attack. They knew it. They even showed the footage of those
See, but you're not
people
getting to the issues, man, because
practicing
you keep
the run.
talking too much. You're gonna
All
just
right.
keep talking on the issues, and that's what
Okay.
all of them want to hear is people like you keep running your mouth. So when you really want to start talking about fixing the issues, you talk about these people who are getting paid. The same people are paying both parties. And the major culprit in all this is AIPAC, period. And when you have people who are dual citizens who hold the purse in all of Congress, who are buying out every politician that gets elected, you're always going to have this problem.
You just
When
divert.
you have a politician in
You
office,
just diverting. You just like you people do. You people just divert.
well,
I just gave you. I just gave you documented facts on Netanyahu paying.
Do you want to take over the conversation?
All
Because
those
I
people,
can shut up and just let
and
you.
you don't want to deal with that. You don't deal with Netanyahu. I'm gonna be quiet. Answer the question about Netanyahu.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the next. I'm gonna go to the next question because I'm gonna go to the next question. I'm not gonna ask that question. I had questions lined up that I'm gonna ask during this show, and I'm gonna go to the next question because it keeps getting out of hand, and I tried to explain what we want to do in this show, and I had certain questions that I wanted to address, and it's in the title of the show. And, and all due respect to everyone here, I understand your passion and how, certain subjects can trigger you into going into certain areas. But, I'm just requesting that, you kind of stick to the plan because we don't have all the time. But I just wanted to get some answers, how you feel about certain things. And then, at some point we can have a spirited debate where we can go where you want to go with it. But, and the next question is concerning the economy and not everything. But, the White House is saying that short-term gain for long-term, short-term pain for long-term gain. And let me finish the question. Reports of the economy are affecting many people with the gas prices, food prices, and everything. How much do you think the everyday citizen can take before we see any kind of gain? That's the question. And Catherine, I'll start with you on that.
Okay. For the fact about the money, I have a son. He's be 60 years old next month. Work for the government. Guess what? He's working with no pay. He worked for the federal government, but he cannot get paid right now. Why? Because what's going on right now. He's got bills to pay. He's got a house to pay for. He's got to go to work, get put gas in his car, but he can't have any funds right now. So what does that tell you? Somebody won't sign the bill. So and the reason why they won't sign the bill is because they want the ICE people to go around still killing folks. So that's how the economy is going. And gas is so high. I live in Georgia. And guess how our gas is right now? It's at 385. 385. Now that's cheap compared to what the people in California are paying. So things are high. Groceries high. Some people, senior citizens, cannot eat right now. And they have even cut out the little money, the little food pantries that they were getting some of their food from. So tell me, it's it's horrible right now. But look what they're saying now. The man came on the radio the other day, on the air the other day. Everything is low. Tell me where. Tell me why my son can't get paid. That's my answer.
Yeah, let Madison make herself look stupid and answer that question now.
Yeah, and Madison, I'll go to you next, and Gracie, you can end up, answering the question.
Yeah, I think that Americans are at their wits' end. I think that when you look at gas, you look at food, you look at, I think the most important thing really, and all this is kitchen table talk, but, people are having a hard time being able to afford homes. interest rates have increased, and we were promised that they would decrease. So, in that area, the administration gets an F. I think that the administration is failing the American people insofar as economy is concerned. There's no, then what happened over the last couple of weeks with gas. I pay $5 a gallon because I drive a diesel, and it's expensive. If I want to go and refinance my house, there's no reason why a person should, if they want to refi, end up refining at a higher interest rate. It makes no sense. There were promises to take out BlackRock, which is this company that's going around buying all the homes. That hasn't happened. So, yeah, there's definitely something that needs to be done in order to fix this problem.
Can I speak now?
Yeah, go ahead, Lewis.
All right. For the sake of time, the rapist pedophile in chief ran on forever wars. We're not getting into forever wars. That's the idiot you support. That came out of his mouth. Forever wars. We're not getting into these forever wars. What are we in now? A war. All right. That's your man. All right. Then we want to talk about the peace president. He said, I'm going to be the president of peace. The fool, the idiot, wants to get the Nobel Peace Prize. Why would you give a Nobel Peace Prize for somebody who's blowing up people in boats?
Lewis, we're talking about the economy.
Even if they are drug dealers, you don't know they were drug dealers. He blew every damn thing up. Now, then he went and bombed in Africa. Yes, bogarted his way in Africa and dropped bombs in Africa. He went and kidnapped a sovereign leader of another nation who ain't. And I agree, he's not numbered a piece of crap. But the point is, he's the president of a sovereign nation. All right, your idiot in chief went there. Now your idiot is going in. It went into Iran, and when gas prices went above $2.50, you sellouts started complaining. $2.65. Ooh, that's too much. Now, where is it at now? Like my sister said, $3.80 in Georgia. It's already $6 in California. And if you watch the news today, one of your types, a white woman, was on national TV. And
sell out. My types might not see out the taste out your mouth.
No, I let you talk.
Straight up.
Right up to
but
her
you're not
mouth,
going to sit up here and keep
asked
insulting me like this. I will straight up slap the taste out your mouth.
And she called Trump a POS.
That's what that would be. So if you want to talk, you can talk, but you're not going to keep insulting me. Because I will still not slap. I will slap the black off.
Never been under Democratic president.
So if we can have a debate, let's do that. Let's do the debate in person, sir. Let's do the debate in person. Let's do the debate in person, since he wants to send all those insults.
Okay, I have muted y'all again and tried to keep this to the questions. And Lewis, please, stay to the question. I like I said, I understand your passion, and you don't have to insult our guests either. I understand your passion, but it doesn't have to go that way either, even though you disagree. And I'm gonna go to the last question, and if it goes like it has been going, I'll just end this thing early because again, I'll say it wasn't my intent to have this. I figured we could have a conversation and a debate could be planned for later. Even in debates, you have to be respectful to each other. And I think respect is everything, whether you agree or disagree. and people can disagree with me on that matter. But when I have the mic, it's a different story. And I have my opinions, but I'll save that for another time. I have the guests here to talk about that, and that's what I intended to do here tonight. And I let it go in some cases a little too long because I know people had things to say and the passion that's involved. But I'm gonna get through this last question, and hopefully we can stay on topic with the last question. And if not, ending early. Okay. And the next question is concerning fair elections. And as we talk about redistricting and voter suppression and gerrymandering, is that something that's going to dictate where we're going from here on? And Madison, I know you have some ties to Virginia and what's going on with the 10-1 and what we're trying to do with vote yes, and a lot of people say vote no. But Catherine, I'm gonna start with you again on that question about fair elections, about where we're going there with fair elections. Virginia, some people say Virginia is just trying to catch up with what has been done in the past and what they see other states doing, like Texas and maybe Florida and some other states. So, how do you feel about going into this fair election thing? Is it something that is involved in voter suppression, or you know,
It,
where are you as far as that's concerned? Fair election.
well, we're in Georgia. They came and got our votes.
Yeah.
Fulton County, right? For what reason? No one still knows. We haven't gotten the votes had that come back in as of yet. Um, it's intimidation. It's trying to get people not to vote, not to go to the polls at all. They've already said they're gonna have drones up come out, and we've already had this guy named Rick Jackson that's on our TV set saying um, they don't like what the rules people say. It's on TV now. If you don't believe me, go check it out for yourself. He's saying you're gonna be deported or you're gonna be departed. And that's the end of his conversation. You're gonna be deported or departed. That means he's straight out telling folks we're gonna kill you. Straight out. That's right on TV. That's on his commercials. That's on his campaign. So they're threatening folks. Yeah, and it's wrong. And some people are afraid. But guess what? I'm going to get out there. Heck or high water. I'm getting out there to vote, regardless of what he says. And I'm going to vote how I see it fit. And that's it. That's for me.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that. Lewis, you're next.
James, let me ask you a question. Is this going to be a 90-minute show or a 2-hour show tonight?
He going to
Maybe not.
No more.
Maybe not quite. We can extend it to an hour and a half, and we got another 33 minutes. As long as the guests can hang in there.
In around 8 o'clock. That's why I'm asking, because I told them we could either be 90 minutes or 2 hours a night.
Okay, yeah. And I just wanted to get my questions out and get them answered, and then we probably can go into some other things. I just still think,
I'm gonna
have guests.
I'm gonna answer the question but I'm gonna let you answer the question because you know more about it than probably me and my sister. We saw the two coons from the Republican Party. For the white man.
Let me say this first. One thing, one of the terms I know it might be all right with you. One of the terms I don't like to be used on here is coons, because that was a coon invented during slavery by the white man, and we should not be using it. And I would just ask you kindly not to use that term here.
What about Sambos? Can I say Sambos?
I mean, is it necessary to use any of that right now?
Can I say sellouts there? Tell at least I want to be this explained. Explain to the public what happened today in Virginia with the Republican sellouts hiding behind our legacy in dealing with redistricting. Explain what happened, what's going on in Virginia now with the redistricting and who's behind it. And I'll let you answer that question.
Well, I can tell you what's going on now is a referendum coming up on next month where the voters are getting an opportunity to weigh in on this and not depending on exactly the politicians. You have one side that feels like at one point they had a bipartisan committee in Virginia to decide how to redistrict certain areas. And over the years, a lot of people feel like it hadn't been fair, as far as making sure one party or another had an advantage as far as people in the General Assembly. This is an effort by the people that are in power now, the Democrats, to put a referendum out to the people about making sure that they can have control over the redistricting and the districts in the advantage of the Democrats. I mean, that's all it is. And the reason they're responding to things that are happening in other states, and you got people on both sides. Some of the ads have been kind of misleading. Some people say, and some of them are true and some of them not.
Who's doing the misleading? Tell the public who's doing the misleading.
Well, the misleading is being charged by the Republican side, and probably people coming from outside of the state. And I'll let Madison get into that part of it. But what the main thing is trying to correct some things that haven't been totally fair in the past, and and trying to keep the control of fair elections within the state. And you see some of the national efforts to make the elections more federal, where the federal government would have more control over what the states do. And, they want to keep it in the hands of the states. And this is like a referendum that's going to be temporary, because it could change even if the people vote yes for it. It's going to be temporary, and it gives the Democrats that are in charge in Virginia now the opportunity to move the ball in their favor as far as how many delegates can be on the Democratic side.
I only need 30 seconds to follow up what you're saying. First thing, this whole thing started because you have the gentleman in Texas who did exactly what Trump asked him to do. He said, I need 5 votes. So you had the governor of Texas who got on his knees for Donald Trump and did exactly what Donald Trump asked him. Now you have eliminated 4 seats that was for black people in a state that Texas is only 36% white people. The rest is Hispanics and black. But in a state there's only 36%, they still redistrict themselves so that white people control everything. White Republicans. And they're doing the same thing in Texas with Wesley Hunt, that sellout Coon Sambo, who doing the same thing that the people in Virginia are doing, working for the man. And Miss Beth got mad. Yes, I'm using the term because it applies to people like you. It applies to people like you. You're selling us out. You don't have no respect for your history. And here it is. Everything that's going on in America today with redistricting in all these states is started by Republicans who already have all the damn control, but they don't want nobody else to have anything. Nothing that they're doing is illegal. It's legal. Nothing. We're doing it in Virginia. And then you have this guy. What's that guy name? AC. What's his last name again, James? The guy who's doing it in Virginia, AC
Cardozo. He's a good guy.
Cardozo, yeah.
Okay, he tried to put that thing out like it was good for us. And then you check that sellout's background. He just like that Uncle Tom, lieutenant governor that you people had fronting, and that's all she was a sellout, Sambo herself, running and doing everything that Donald Trump wanted her to do. And he disrespected her so much he wouldn't even come and support her. He didn't even come into the state to support her. Just like he's not going to Florida, where they also did redistricting because Donald Trump asked them. He's not going to Florida to support the other sellout, Byron Donald. Everything that's happening, James, and you just told the public in your nice way, everything that's been going on in America today, all the redistricting started by Republicans. We didn't start it. We did not start it. You people do it, and you have been, and then you sellouts, and that's what you people are. You damn sellouts. You standing behind the man who's trying to hurt all the African Americans, everything that our people have suffered for, everything that our people have died for. You people are willing to sit there nationwide selling out. Yes, I'm calling you coons, Sambos, and Uncle Toms because that's exactly what you are. Coons, sellouts, and Uncle Toms.
Madison, you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I think that when you're talking about redistricting, I think that, I mean, it's okay as long as the people know exactly what it is that they're voting for. When you look at Virginia, you got, you have concentrated areas like, Northern Virginia, you got the Tidewater area, but then you got a lot of rural areas like, when you get out the Big Stone Gap and Wise and, that southwestern area and, even Central Virginia. So, is the representation going to be actually fair for all citizens? And so, of course, I'm going to vote no, because I think that I'm not for a lot of all the changes, especially making changes when there's not enough information out there as to the exact reasons for why. It seems like it's more of a power grab from one political party affiliation to the next, and then it's just going to keep going back and forth. And while we understand that that's what politics is, it's a pendulum that just continues to swing. The people who are inevitably going to be hurt are the citizens, no matter which way the pendulum swings. So,
did Texas start this or not? Did Texas start this redistricting or not? Yes or no?
I'm a Virginian. I could care less about Texas.
See how they are? See how they are, James? You don't want to answer the question.
I don't pay Texas taxes.
Question. Did Texas start this under behest of Trump or not? That's a simple yes or no question. It's a simple yes or no question. And you see, James, I'm gonna tell you right now, if we do the debate, I will wipe the floor with him. You can bring 3 other idiots like yourself on the James Show.
Okay, I think Catherine wants to.
And it'll be me against the 3 of you, and I'll wipe the floor of every one of you.
I'm gonna have to mute you. Okay, Catherine, you want to ask the question now?
Yes, I want to throw something in. Well, I lived in Texas as well. Okay, like I said, I've served a lot of places that the Army has sent me, and I've had a lot of nice places. I've served in Texas, and I voted in Texas when I was living there. The thing of it is, if you don't have it straight out across the board, if you don't really tell the people why you're redistricting, then it's all wrong. It's not fair, because like in some parts, just like you said, you lived in Portsmouth at one time. You have Truxton and you have Douglas Park. We'll say it that way. Truxton may have more blacks on this side and have few blacks on the Douglas Park side. But will it all come together? No. You're going to have to make it straight across the board. It's just like Craddock had one side. They had Truxton on one side and Craddock on another. It's got to be even across the board. When I went to school, our school was 70s. But what happens when you have white schools and then you have the black schools? It's not fair across the board. So everything needs to be fair and straight and outright. Things need to be said. Whether you redistricting in Texas, Are you registered in Virginia? Are you registered in Maryland? It doesn't matter where. Is it fair across the board? If it's not fair across the board, then it shouldn't be. That's all I have to say.
I
Okay.
agree with. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. It needs to be fair. The only I'm always skeptical when it comes to making these changes, because I feel like all the information is not being put out. So, that's the part that gets me. I think that whatever is going to help the citizens of Virginia the most is what needs to be done. Uh, I don't know how this is really I mean, what's the end game on that? If it's just to get more seats, then that's one thing. If it's to foster another agenda, then yeah, uh, what's the agenda? So yeah, of course I would vote no. I'm obviously a Republican, and I don't see enough information for me to change my mind right now.
Yeah, and of course, the bigger picture is, and like I mentioned, it's a temporary fix here in Virginia.
Yeah,
If the yes passes, because the bigger picture is the
right,
the SAFE Act that is that is a federal legislation that's going through Congress
right,
that
right,
has a lot of components added to it. And one good thing that's added to it is the Mortgage Licensing Act, to try to make it fair for anybody to buy a home. But along with that is is that Federal Elections Act, which I don't agree with because that'll give the federal government control over what the states can do, and that's why it's kind of stalled now in the Congress, because you have certain bills, and this is how Congress works. You have certain bills that trying to get passed, but there's certain things within that bill that try to slip through that
right,
a lot of people don't agree with. And then
right,
in that matter, some bills that should get through that would help people, you know, don't get through at the time. And
right,
that's why at one point we had a government shutdown, and you
right,
can blame whoever you want to blame for that. I think, you know, uh, there was some reasons to hold out. I think they should have held out a little longer, even though people might have suffered. But what people are suffering now, because they're saying we got to be in pain now for gain later. But right now, people are dipping into their savings, just trying to survive. But as we look at this big picture, and what Virginia is trying to do, of course, Madison, I'm going to vote yes on that because I believe, we need that temporary fix here in Virginia in order for us to do some things. People might look at Spanberger's early uh, uh, her early administration as some things coming through the pike right now as kind of harsh, but some harsh things have to be done in order to fix what the last governor did, in my opinion. Now you might agree with a lot of the things he did then, but I don't. But I just think that some things just have to be done as just temporary fix. But we also have to keep our eye on the big picture because there's a lot of things in that bill that need to go through to help people, and some things, as far as that Federal Elections Act,
One
that
minute.
don't need to be go through. I mean, okay, I'll give you a minute. I just,
One minute.
I sit here patiently, Lewis. I sit here patiently and listen to you, Lewis.
1 minute, honest.
You got to give it. I'll give you your minute. But I mean, can I finish?
Oh, I thought you were saying. I'm sorry.
No, I wouldn't finish. When I'm finished, you'll see that little gap in between. But as far as as far as you saying, I say it nicely. That's the way I've been all my life. That's my character, and I'm not going to be like anybody else. I try to look at things fairly. I have certain ways I feel. I'm a lifetime Democrat, but I still feel like, we need to listen to other people. And if they are not factual, of course they need to call it out. But there's ways to do that without stepping on each other during conversations. And that's just my opinion. And you feel differently. I know that's always the way you have done things. And I respect that. I actually like that about you because you really stand up for your true convictions. Just sometimes the way you do it I might disagree with, but I'm going to always agree with your passion and the way you do it. But I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in, and we can continue the conversation. Um, they were my 3 main questions, and if you want to take it in another direction right now, you can. But I truly have to ask you, you know, just try to have the conversation and be as respectful as you can. And I know, like I said, I keep saying I know your passion, and we can all get down when we need to, but we already have to put up with some of the comments that people. And I try to share all the comments that people, even if you disagree with the comments they put up there, that's their feelings, and they have a right to say it.
Catherine,
And that's where we are today.
Catherine, let me get that 1 minute in.
Let your sister say something right quick because she had her hand up. So I hate to ignore people when they want to really get in there. Go ahead, Catherine.
Okay. What I want to say is what I don't like that's going on these days, because it's all I see it every day, and I hear it across the board. They always say we don't like to read. Black people don't like to read. They don't want to know what's going on, and they want to be told what to do. Now, years ago, everybody would have a forum, and you used to go to the church to do it, but you can't do it anymore because people don't go to church anymore. So they can't be informed. But you don't want somebody spoon feeding you spoon feeding you lies. We want people to be educated, to read up on what's going on, and not to be spoon fed. But they don't have our leaders are passing off, and we don't have any new leaders, and the new leaders are still not reading. They're just being spoon fed and listen to stuff that they don't need to know about, or they're not reading like you said, the referendum. They don't go to the courthouse to read things. They don't go to the schools. They don't go to the school board meetings. There's a lot that people are not doing, and that's it.
Yeah, I just have to mention Miss Brian Williams. I appreciate your right to say everything, and I'm going to show it, but I totally disagree with your last statement here. I totally disagree with that, but you have a right to say it, even if you're wrong.
Well, James.
Actually, I think she was correct.
James, let me say this. Beth and Mr. Downs. First thing, whoever this Beth is, you don't want to even challenge me on Black history. You don't even want to be in the same ballpark with me when it comes to talk about Black history. I know more about Black history than most professors do in this planet. You don't want to do that. You don't want to cross that road. So you're doing the same thing, James, that all of these sellouts have done. They all have went to the book. It was called Talking Points to African Americans. Now, I've seen the book myself. I snatched it out of a hand of a sellout Uncle Tom, and I put it and I showed the people exactly what the book was. I was in Washington, D.C., in front of 300 sellout like you and a bunch of white people. And I held it up, and then they snatched it out of my hand. It's on videotape. It's called Talking Points to African American. And Beth and the gentleman you have on the show now, because you don't want me to call them sellouts. Everything they're saying is in those books. Everything they said is directly out of Talking Points to African American. Just like Beth did, she went back to how the Republican Party started and where they were at the time. So you're going to go all the way back to 1960, 1860 something to justify what you talk about now. That's what these sellouts do. That's what these sellouts do. It's the same thing they did with Kamala Harris in California. You got a bunch of you sellout Uncle Toms falsifying her records about Black people and how she put Black people in prison. Y'all don't talk about the fact that she set up all these programs for Black people to get educated and everything and go into all these programs so they can come back and more productive citizens. You want to talk about the BS that you people created about Kamala Harris, and then you Toms went around just like they did in Georgia, just like they did in Florida, just like they did in Texas, and telling black people all these lies that any fool can find out simply by going and checking, as you claim, the facts. And James, I'm gonna leave with this. This is my last 10 seconds. I'm telling you right now, you could bring him on, you could bring Beth on, you could bring 4 more sellout Uncle Tom Coons with you. I'll wipe the floor with them. They will not last a second, and I'm gonna tell you why. In this show alone, I'd have brought up 4 facts that Mr. Downs have not answered about Donald Trump. Now here it is, and I'm gonna ask this one question, see what he answers now. Did the governor of Texas do exactly what Donald Trump asked him to do to create 5 seats so for this upcoming election? Did the governor of Texas, because you play football, so you may have some kind of concussion issue, did the Texas governor do exactly what Donald Trump asked him to do? Yes or no?
I'm unaware of whether he did or if he didn't.
See, now they act stupid. That's what they always do. It's been in the news for a whole year, Mr. Downs. A whole year.
Mr. Overton,
a whole year.
This is my ask. If we do a debate, do the debate.
You won't last a second with me. You'll be wiped out. You'll be destroyed.
You'll be picking your teeth up off the floor.
I dare you to do that.
That's what's going to happen. You don't have to dare me. That's a promise.
James, get some help from Norfolk State.
I'm going to just leave it at that.
Get me a judge from Norfolk State, James. Get me a judge from Hampton University. Get me a judge from any college you can. And I'll say.
So I don't mind having a debate or anything like that.
Okay, I'm muting both of you all. You know, when you start talking about picking teeth off the ground and violence, you know, that's not what this show is about. And I don't care how you feel about me. I don't care, you know, because everybody has their opinion. I know who I am. I know what I've done with this show over the years and who I supported, Kamala Harris and all of them. So I just don't care. But there's certain things that, you know, we don't have to put up with here. I mean, you can take it somewhere else, you know, if you want to. But, you know, and I've been talking this the whole show. And all I wanted was respect. And respect doesn't mean that you agree or you even like the person. But it's people watching. And there's people making comments that are not as respectful either. But we ask for their comments and they're giving it. But also, it's other people watching and maybe trying to learn something, or trying to figure out. There might be some Republicans that see a different light. Might be some Democrats that see a different light. But, you know, the way we keep going, you know, it seems like it always ends up in some kind of threat, and regardless of who starts it. And that's not what we're going to do. So at this time, I'm going to end the show. Okay. I'm going to end the show because this is not where I wanted to go. I let it go on too long. And I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and we appreciate you. And we'll see you next time on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody. And let me get to the point, and I'll see you. Thank you. Thank you, Gracie. Thank you, Madison. And thank you, Catherine. And happy Women's Month to you. And we appreciate you all year round, Catherine. And thank you for your sacrifice in the service that you served as a woman this month. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. Be our guest on the Portsmouth